Yes, I give thanks to life, you know.
No, serious thing.
Rastafari.
Bad bald head and the dread podcast. When you get free time, make sure you check us out, www.conscioust.com. Fire, I want to ask you, right? In your opinion, what is your favorite era? What do you think is the best era in Jamaican music?
Well, personally, still to and I still would have said the golden era that right this away. The 70s, see me seeing the 70s era, that's a really roots reggae era still, you know. To and I still the era that the greatest era still. Look at if you really think about it, everything spawn off of that. The generic name for everything will come from Jamaica right now is reggae. So me feel like reggae in itself have to be the greatest era, because if it wasn't reggae, you know, it could have been the generic term where I use everything right now. You see that everything get lost within reggae.
No, serious thing. Fire, I will have to go with the Rocksteady era. I really would have to go with the Rocksteady era, and I'm gonna tell you why. You see the area you're talking about? You know, I'm a Channel 1 man, and I love the sound, but from 70s, 80s, 90s to 2000, they still licking over Rocksteady rhythms. And every artist from the late 60s till now have a big hit on a Rocksteady rhythm.
The Rocksteady started about 66.
Yeah, it seemed like it was only like 3 years. 2 or 3 years is weird depending on who you talk to, because they're gonna go 66 to 68. Some say, 65 to 67, 66 to 69. It all depends. But it was only like 18 months in all reality if you really look at the music that was released with that sound before transition. And think about it. Think about it, right? All right. I'm not even gonna go in 70s too tough, but we could do 70s still, right? But let's do 90s that people more familiar with. Let's look at Barris Hammond, for instance, right? Most of Barris Hammond big tunes is Rocksteady rhythm, Joe. They Gonna Talk, Those Guys by the Sensations. The big tune he have there on See a Love Rhythm. Big tune he come out to. Man. See a Love Rhythm. I don't know the name, but that tune, right? Tempted to Touch. What's Tempted to Touch?
Yeah, Rocksteady that same way.
All right.
But if you think about it, still a majority. We talk about majority, we're not. I want great that, we have more great. We are do it, And Rocksteady.
All right, but
all right. Watch the levels now. When you have a whole, we talk about the era that we are come through, Remember, say when you talk about early 2000s, the youth them we are come through early 2000s, the Firebrand artists, them, Them Firebrand artists, they stand up in the music and create the biggest impact, even across same Europe.
All
where
right,
Rocksteady did come through,
But here you go. What's one of Sizzler's biggest tunes? One Away, Rocks, Sadamasagana, Happy Land, original Carlton and the Shoes. Guide Over Us, Studio One, Cornell Campbell. Just One of Those Days, Queen Majesty, Treasure Isle. Just One of Those Days, not Sizzler's biggest tune?
No, that have a subjective still.
All right.
I remember that. No, but even when you check it same way you talk about Sizzler, then remember say Exterminator never had a lick over most Rocksteady rhythm though. Exterminator did the hardcore roots reggae rhythm, and then them lick it in with the Rocksteady thing, and Rocksteady thing just so them could have watched and see the ants thing with them with Exterminator capture. And that a Rocksteady, me have to admit that,
True.
Rocksteady them bring in pan that, but most hardcore roots rock reggae are 70s rhythm, the man them choose like 74 to 76 if you check back Exterminator though.
I don't know, Fire, because all right, I'm not discrediting that, right? But we have to acknowledge that Rocksteady was the most creative period in Jamaica music. And but listen to this. This is the thing. Every artist, as I stated before, Sean Paul, big tune, I'm Still in Love with You, Alton Ellis. We can't go around these things, yo.
No, me not go around this, because era one thing I have to say still. Rocksteady, for be the shortest music in Jamaica, it create the most hits. You see me I say? But one thing though, when I always said to myself though, because I ask myself the question all the while now, if it was the greatest, then why did it last so short?
No, fire. That all right. The Rocksteady thing I think ended because more social issues, fire. Social issues, fire. Because remember, the thing shift, artists shift. A lot of artists started joining the movement, started looking at certain consciousness in the world in itself. You went from because even all right, you could even look at American music. Yeah, people like James Brown and these dudes that was permanent here. Then they shifted into they wearing frozen. The musical context shifted. It just seemed like everything shifted. And American music was the biggest influence in Jamaica. Of course, the content gonna shift.
We pretty shift though. We shift though. And reggae music stand for the full reggae stand for the fullish social, you know. So when you check it out, the necessary and
No,
the
the
shift. And the shift that we're going end up become the biggest shift now because if Rocksteady become a subgenre underneath that, when you think about it in the fire.
I don't know, fire, because all right, even 70s now, and yes, the thing really slowed down and it has original rhythms. But I'm still stuck on the fact that all right, this is what I'm basing off. You know how in hip hop they do sample, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sampling.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing now is this generation, even with the trap music, they're sampling, stuff I grew up on. But they're not necessarily sampling the 70s and the jazz like early hip hop people were sampling, right? I don't listen to it that much, but from what I'm hearing, they samples stop at like 90s, like Lauryn Hill. I heard them sample Lauryn Hill recently and some other little tunes from 90s, early 2000s. But fire people still sampling rock steady rhythms and it's licking.
Here the Rocksteady rhythm man them sample it. You see, when we get for overs Rocksteady rhythm, it have one of the grooviest bass line them. One of the grooviest bass line come like Rocksteady because it's a dancing thing. It make you dance and move your waist. So you see, even all some roots tune, I can always have it still, you know. But for me, it's I figure say it's really just the that's where you look for in the greatest genre still. Like it's like how you look for the pointers. I said, so most of the sample them are come from Rocksteady and thing. Me just feel like so ultimately the greatest thing are gonna be the thing where most people take on to, where it become will overshadow every other thing, and then the way it's really stand for. Rocksteady just never did have the versatility like that. How much type of culture tune it, like hear me, how much type of social issues tune here come to Rocksteady.
Yeah, but I see your angle on social. That's what you want. You on social issues, and I'm on creativity because I'm just saying that. All right, Rocksteady era is 66, right? And we in 2001, right? Fire, how can you knock something that is still being used today, that is still being sent, and it's still hitting? That is the thing. It is still hitting to this day.
But only for roots are it's same when you do. Like roots are like if I think about it, fire, like which year was the greatest year in a Jamaican music? 76. You can't go around 1976. 76 was not a Rocksteady era.
And why do you say that's the greatest? Because the lead scratch, the Congos. What came out that year? Naughty Dread.
Yeah, Max
Romeo.
Yeah, Val Burning Spear album.
Junior Marvin album. Fred Locks came out that year too, or no?
Yeah, but that's something I should show there. Show there is and that was that a Rocksteady era. Which music in a Jamaica? 74 to 76. The biggest songs them and biggest album them release.
Nah, I can't say biggest songs, fire. I can't say biggest songs. I'm gonna tell you, it depends on how you categorize it. Because check it, if you ever look at a top list of reggae music or even these compilation albums of all time, maybe the song's not on there because they social commentary, but the songs that's on there, fire, is pure like Desmond Decker, Alton Ellis. You get what I'm saying? Heptones, Ken Booth. We can't go. So I can't say those are the biggest songs because any man know when they perform in Shellings anywhere they are in the world more than modern artists to this day, and that is the truth. Don't get it twisted, because I think social media sometimes misrepresents how much people embrace certain artists and certain songs, because the artists that's connected to social media, they into it so they can present their experience. But right now, if all right, you telling me if the Jamaicans go somewhere right now and drop that tune, or Abyssinians draw back for Love Me, Carlton the Shoes, which is Abyssinia's Draw for Love Me Forever, and the whole place don't share.
Yeah, no, because
So I can't.
Remember, me love Rocksteady, you know, so I don't want somebody feel like me don't love Rocksteady still, you know. But all right, we're gonna use one example then.
All right, go ahead.
We're gonna use one artist as a perfect example. I feel like you can't find a more perfect example. Dennis Brown, right?
All right.
Dennis Brown go through Rocksteady era. I'm go through all of the era them really, if you think about it. Too early him start singing, right? So Dennis Brown have Rocksteady hits. See? Dennis Brown biggest set of hits them. Are them it's their Rocksteady? So they are Dennis Brown.
All right,
biggest
but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna say one thing about that. One, Dennis Brown is a rare, unique talent, and he was young during the Rocksteady era. But even what album he licked over Rain from the Skies? I don't know if it's Visions or
No man, I know Visions at that time.
What's the next one near fire with Joe Gibbs? I gotta look. But anyway, even later on in his career in his 90s and all that, he was still covering, and you know this for a fact.
I know that.
He was still covering Rocksteady tunes.
I know for sure Rocksteady one of him favorite eras too, you know. I know that, you know, but I tell you, say him biggest set of tune them. What you think about them? I'm not talking about like a popular tune them, because sometimes people think about all them artists, them I think about popularity. Them man the biggest set of tune them are some hard hitting roots reggae tune.
In fact, I just want to bring up one thing since you said it. People need to get more into these deep cuts, yo. Like, people are missing out so much on music with this top 10 of the tune that they playing on the radio. And respect to everybody that play music, that really play music and really expose people to some. There's so much great music out there, but people really stuck on these top 5 songs. And artists have such a large body of work that you need to expose yourself to. But back to this reasoning now, right? I still stand. Every artist from 70s, 80s, 90s to present day have a hit on the Studio One rhythm. A hit.
Yeah, but yeah, Priest. So Studio One wasn't just.
I mean,
Rocksteady,
not Studio One. Rocksteady. Sorry, not Studio One. Rocksteady.
Because when you think about it, still, you know, most Rocksteady would have come out. A Treasure Isle would have gave the biggest set of Rocksteady tune them. If you think about it.
True. And I want to say respect to the bass players: Jackie Jackson, Leroy Sibbles, Brian Atkinson. Anyone else I'm leaving out? Reason being, we did do a top 10 bass players of all time. I'll put the link there. Make sure you check it out. And it's very informative. And the article has more information than the video. Video is like a condensed version. But yeah, that creativity. I want to see like 10, 20 years from now, will people be sampling stuff from Exterminator? Not too much Penthouse, because majority of Penthouse stuff is lick over rhythms. B.D. McLean have 2 massive tunes that he go perform for the rest of their life. But you can't really use. Or that's why when I mention man like B.D. McLean and man like John Holt and them man, like, because them man they live in a Rocksteady, like them man they live off a Rocksteady. So you have to use an artist who come out. Yeah, that's why even Berry's using Berry's, it's still kind of strange, because Berry's literally is a lovers rock man. A lovers rock is basically half a Rocksteady same way. So listen to what you just said. You just said a whole subgenre of music is based off of something that happened in the 60s.
Yeah, but remember about roots of only per subgenre, if you think about it same way, you know, fire, because the way how it's set up, you know, and the way how it start come periodically. You can't go around.
So tell me this. Give me 3 songs right now, right? That they sample from a roots rhythm in the 70s that really hit. 70s, not 80s. From 70s, a 70s rhythm that's not a Rocksteady rhythm that someone used within the last decade or 2 that hit, that really captured the people. And when I say hit, I don't mean like, you know, pop hit, but hit like a tune you could play somewhere and it shut.
Would have to meditate the one never tell you about. No, would have to meditate, because Wally Pa song, it remember say Wally Pa tune about in the fire. So that is a question that the one that does creep up, but would have to tell you. Because remember say a whole heap of roots, it's it there, man. Whole heap, man. Whole heap of it, man. Well, yeah, so man. I remember every time I want come back and bring back the same type of tune them. Rocksteady come back whole heap, but me whole heap of roots track reggae after they in the fire. Because even man like culture and them thing that no few to use all them type of youth, them man they tune and I make it to this day. Remember, yeah, it's on a way because they talk about some subjective too. Remember, say a whole heap of artists who could have call in a fire because the list so big, you know. But you can't have as much it's within Rocksteady as there's it's within Roots Reggae. Think about it, fire. Roots Reggae have the biggest set of hits them, and then it's their alone.
No, it's a longer period, but fire Rocksteady has some hits, yo.
But
Rocksteady has some hits.
No, I said no, you know. But if you think about it doing a fire, if with a longer period, create so much different hits, you know how much different artists it come and create and how much inspiration it come and create. So if we even take sample out of the picture, and think about just the artists and the legacy and the different generations that will come through and still have to embrace back the roots. But you know, for the Firebrand 2000 artists them, for come back and even come on a roots vibration, one drop in a fire. Think about one drop now in a modern day. Wish where that come off a fire. How much one drop it's within this time fire. Compilations upon compilations. So come after that. You have to think about that too. So we can use all that.
I hear what you're saying, right? I hear what you're saying. But you biased still. I'm gonna tell you why you biased. You're super biased. I'm gonna tell you why you biased. If I on this roots music, the man know he biased. You're on this roots music vibe and you're on this Firebrand. I know you're a man with this Firebrand thing, right? And it's kind of I hear what you're saying, right? But in regards to the creativity and the influence and the impact and the ability for people to earn a living off of something that was made in the 60s, to use that same musical composition and make a hit in a new era fire. I'm a Rocksteady man. I hope the people in the listening, in the comments, we would love if you could share your views. Like, you know, what is the greatest era of
I bet I said I'm gonna agree with me.
reggae music. You know, I like to see, but and also too, because even remember, if I speak to enough of the people from like previous eras, and I have to see, even they're kind of biased in a sense. Because if a man come from Rocksteady, he's gonna tell you Rocksteady the greatest era. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna say anything different, especially if he participated in that, where he created that. He feels that one, they feel they don't get enough acknowledgement or praise, so they got a bitterness in a sense. And also, it's just like a human vibe. I was a part of this. This is the greatest era. But I'll tell you where it gets tricky though. Recently we interviewed Donovan Jermaine, right near that own Penthouse, right? So he's a digital person, fire. Like, he controlled the 90s. I asked him the question. He said, man, that's a weird question. But when I think about it, yes, Rocksteady, he said it's the most creative. He wouldn't say it's the greatest because he would look at him with the work that he done and said 90s is the greatest era. Or you may have Don Corleone or somebody say, oh, you know, 2000s is the greatest era. You know, so it take a lot for a person to just say, you know what, and look back and say, hey, but as a man that really deal with Rocksteady music and listen to it, I would have to go with Rocksteady fire, because just Queen Majesty rhythm alone.
Yeah, but if you want to think about all that, you know, so based on what I say still, because I even switch it until I say I scare the greatest thing, because that put Jamaica on the map then. If I say I scare put Jamaica on the map.
Hey,
then,
you know, people don't know. You know, majority of the world right now listen to ska more than reggae. Not majority, but a lot of parts of the world, especially in European countries, right? They listen to ska. In New York, they have a heavy ska culture there, where depending on where you go, you're gonna hear live ska music. So don't sleep on ska same way, you know.
Because and then we could have used it again until I say everything, every single hands or brass, every ear or brass instrument we're using our music influence from ska and have to be used straight through, regardless. That's the tempo alone change.
I will agree with you on that, because after speaking with numerous people, they always mention the influence of Don Drummond, Roland Alfonso, Tommy Cook. Everybody like really rates Tommy McCook. I've read stuff with Cedric Brooks, Rico Rodriguez, Glenda Costa, David Madden. What's the next breakthrough near? I read something on. I think Vin Gordon. You see, with those people, they didn't do a lot of interviews too, man. That's the next problem, you know. So it's like one-off things, but everybody mentioned Tommy McCook, but due to time and history, it's like he kind of faded. And you don't get the due diligence or the due credit that he should. If anybody listen, check out our breakthrough Tommy McCook, especially for me personally, the work he did during the 70s with the Aggravators is my favorite, and also the stuff he did with the Supersonics, which was basically Treasure Isle rhythms. They was doing some instrumentals with. But
I feel like the music still on a real note though. The music kind of vast. It's so broad. Includes so much different hits and so much different aspects. It just me feel like I just all the way how you look on it still, you know.
True. But you still biased though, Fire, because you're on this. Where's that culture music? This man don't want to hear about it, you know. So
no, I don't get it twisted in the fire. I listen every single music, you know. The only music, me no listen to a music where dirty, you know. So if a music now attack something where me no want to hear, me no listen. But me listen every music, you know. Because my music when me mostly listen to same way as Soul's music, and Soul's music lead me towards even Rocksteady and anything the same way. Even though I'm Rocksteady, I might own a music. The way when I listen to Soul's music, at the same way I feel about Rocksteady too. So I just different type of thing. It does a mix up and blend type of thing when it comes to music still, you know?
No, reality, man. And we give thanks for the 70s Souls music too, because you know I'm a Souls fan same way. So we give thanks for everyone listening, Ballhead and the Dread. Hopefully you do your own research and look into some Rocksteady music. I'm telling you, the thing kick Rocksteady, your 70s music. I have to mention. If I can't get off without mentioning, you know, I have to mention Earth and Stone. I have to mention that Earth and Stone album. Also, it's a great album too, from a group called Cultural Roots. Check them out. And if you don't want to listen, I'll listen to a tune called Boss Man. But that tune there, that 70s, that Steppers. I gotta look into what's the origin of that London stepper sound. I'm really trying to figure that out. Where did that start? You know?
Yeah, I feel like that connected to all the dub vibration, you know. After they said come to, if I check the tempo and the steppers, it have an up tempo type of sound, you know.
Yeah.
But check it. But you know, it's funny. They talk about Rocksteady the same way. Alright, yeah. You know, me feel like say one of the single-handed most important artists in Jamaican history, Delroy Wilson, though.
The great Delroy Wilson.
Yeah, I feel like one of the most important, like the keyword important artists in Jamaican history. Majority of people not really know music. Fire, like the man influence almost every single artist. So he come to music.
Delroy Wilson would be like what Dennis Brown is to this generation, right? Because everybody prior would say. So basically, from 80s back would say Delroy Wilson, and everybody from
yes,
yeah. All right.
Him was the real man where set the pace for every man, because every man have to tell you, if them not sing over Delroy Wilson song, it can't happen.
All right, let's go back to Rocksteady and people getting hits. Was one of the biggest tunes?
No, I thought that still. Though of course I want the biggest tune, but remember say the man that's why I tell us you can't really use just one tune from the man catalog.
Who did that first? Errol Dunkley or Delroy Wilson? Movie star.
Delroy Wilson, man. Yeah,
did it first?
Yeah, man. Yeah, say fire.
All right. Check out that album, Good All Over. Good All Over by Delroy Wilson. Rain from the Sky. These Little Hearts of Mine. Enough tunes for you. No, a serious thing when you say it, because he is the bridge. Like, you know, every generation had everybody like, so you know, it's like, it's Sizzler. Everybody from Sizzler moved forward, been inspired by Sizzler. You know, that old Chronics and Kabaka and all John 9 is Sizzler. Then for Sizzler, it's really, they don't admit it and they don't want to say it. But you know, it's really B.H.N.T.D inspired that whole crew from him till you get to Sizzler. There's nothing but B.H.N.T they was listening to.
Yeah, them have Bojo card, but the roots Bojo card. Bojo are one different type of, if I think about Bojo, the transformation musical is still in it. It's like the reason why we are old. He's a man where in bridge, it's really a bridge artist, still artist, so can carry over the same way too.
True. Even for dancehall artists. Because...
Yeah, and there I mentioned that, a question of you. So then there I think about Aineka Mosey. Which era do I classify Aineka Mosey now? Because I go sure there is something to know.
I will say this. I noticed this Chronix crew here is enough sampling of Aineka Mosey.
All right.
Where he not getting credit because all the gunman world, all the big tune, the rhythm, everybody had a big tune on. What's that one called?
Here Comes Trouble and them things.
Yeah, what's that rhythm called?
I remember the rhythm name,
Rootsman something.
Rootsman rhythm.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Aineka Mosey. Protege have a next one where he use Aineka Mosey.
Kingston Be Wise and them.
Yeah, you know,
but even that match I show
you. And the big jam rock, Aineka Mosey.
A roots thing that cause they talk about sampling and them thing that I just remember Aineka Mosey them before them go to the label world, strictly roots man sound them a deal with, so even them thing they can think about again too in regards to root sample and that carry over whole heap. Even big more artists than even the what them call revival. I use Aineka Mosey them sample them to this day.
He's like I fully don't know his story to see what happened, but the album he did there with Taxi Fire, definitely a classic body of work because they really start. I'm telling you, the Marleys really sampled that man heavy, and this crew here when he was dealing with it, but. So the vibes go still tell you the truth, but everyone listening, make sure you check out some Rocksteady still, Sweet. Go cook some food and listen to some Rocksteady, with the vibes. And when you listen to it, you're going to start put two and two together and see where things really come from, because as I said, a lot of these hits you're hearing, they come from Treasure House Studio One, respect to everyone, Duke Reed, Coxon for the vision that they had, because they started this thing at a time where people wasn't really seeing what they was dealing with, And I want to say one more thing about Rocksteady, though. A unique thing about it is their ability to restructure a song. Because Rocksteady is 90% cover music to start with in regards to songs, lyrics. But the way they rebuilt the rhythm and remade it, I think it's very creative and unique. So everyone, we give thanks for listening. Ballhead and the Dread podcast. We give thanks anyway.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me hear